So for Aaron and I final project, we decided to talk about how social media affects teenagers' health, because as teenagers in high school, we use social media a lot in our daily lives. And in our final project, we talked about how social media affects teenagers mentally, emotionally, socially, and also in and outside of the classroom. So for that, we interviewed two students that attend Mercy High School, Naja Fleet, a sophomore, and Christiana Dyson, a junior, on how they use social media in their daily lives. We also interviewed a teacher at Arundel County High School who teaches chemistry and how it seems to affect her students in her class. And as our last interviewee, we interviewed a life coach on how she believes it affects teenagers socially when talking to their family and friends.
So what did you find? What was the most interesting discovery that you found in your studies or research?
Well, I thought it was interesting that a lot of teenagers use social media like 10 to 12 hours a day, so the majority, and that is where we get the most of our news, how we catch up with our friends and things like that. And also, as in the social aspect, I thought it was interesting how due to social media, it's very hard for teenagers still to just talk face-to-face on a daily basis instead of just like texting and sending images through social media.
So we've become a nation of tappers and versus just old-fashioned conversation.
Yes, exactly. So through social media, it's easier to just talk to people through texting or videos or Snapchat, and then eventually when you might meet the person in the real life or in the real world, it's difficult to hold a conversation with them because you're so used to not being able to see their face and things like that. So with texting and snapping and posting videos and posting pictures, it's hard to decipher what emotions the person is actually displaying, because when you talk to somebody face to face, you can actually see it through like their face motions, or if they're smiling, or if their eyes look different, you can tell that. But through texting, a simple emoji doesn't actually tell you the whole truth about how they feel or what they're saying.
So the bottom line is still good to talk.
Yeah, talking is very key, and that's what the life coach was stressing, that it's very important that social media is beginning to interrupt in that aspect of life, just face-to-face, regular talking and things like that.
Social media greatly affects my students. With this upcoming age of technology, they are more geared to being on their phones than engage in the academics. And as a teacher, we're constantly telling our students to place their phones away, to pay attention, because they have to respond to the recent tweet or try to do FaceTime.
I use both of them because I feel like if I don't, I miss out on certain stuff. Like the news can't say everything, so I feel like when I go on there, I find out other stuff.
When I'm not on social media, I feel like I'm missing out like on something, especially if like an event is happening that night and like everybody is there and then I'm not there at that event, so then I had to look on social media, and then if I don't have social media, then I don't know what's going on, and I have to know what's going on.
That as a life coach, that kids should connect with people, not so much the machines, not so much Twitter, because they've made social media their family. I think down the road it will just make them become more distant in terms of talking with someone. And I just want to share just a brief story that I did that. I didn't have social media, but I'm sure that I probably would have used social media more so.
Right.
I did repress a lot of things that happened in this book, but now that I am exposed to social media, I think it's good to be able to reach out to, because you'll be able to at least connect to people that you're not able to connect to in your own home, your own household. So I think that it will eventually, it'll have both a good effect and a negative effect, and it really depends on what the kid does with that social media.
social media is that gray line. It's neither black or white. It's neither good or bad. It's all about how it's used, when it's used, and where it's used. It can help save lives, but it can also cause death with that cyberbullying. So it all depends on how it is used. So I am never against social media. I just think that there is a time and a place for social media to be used.